All right, YouTube, this Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. Back with another video, and we got to talk about it. All election cycle, I was telling you guys how the Democratic Party had infiltrated the black church. You seen people like Jamal Bryant and Roland Martin towing the company line for the Democrats, backing Kamala as if they actually thought that she had an opportunity to win and actually be the president of the United States. But the problem is, these are so-called leaders in your communities. And I don't even know how that's feasible, considering what you know about people like Jamal Bryant, Roland Martin. Now they've come out against the black National Black Baptists, calling on the spirit of Martin Luther King, as they always do. But it's at the end of the day, it's all about money. I'm going to show you two clips. First, I'm going to show you Jamal Bryant, because to me, I don't even understand how he still has a congregation at his church. But I want you to see how he has politicized the pulpit, how these so-called black representatives are on a paper chase. You know what I mean? You got they still trying to boycott Target. Who works the most at Target? Still pushing DEI, as if it benefited black men or black people more than others. But these are the people that you listen to. And I want you to check out Jamal Bryant. This for fair use under the 1976 Copyright Act for education and commentary. Look at this.
Something is wrong today for those who try to hide Jesus just in classism, who tried to hide Jesus in elitism, and something has got to break. You mean ain't none of them evangelicals gonna say nothing about us bombing 3 different bases that had nothing to do with us? You mean nobody is gonna say nothing about us spending $47 million for a parade that nobody showed up to? Ain't nobody gonna say nothing about how the Trump family's net worth has gone up by $5 billion in the last 6 months.
As you can clearly see, he still has Trump derangement syndrome. You know, now he got a problem with the fact that Trump bombed Iran. Iran been a threat for years. At what point do you stop even allowing them to threaten American citizens and American interests? You know, at what point do you realize this country is being invaded by foreigners? New York just voted in a socialist, a total socialist, for the primary. And he wants Sharia law. He wants all kind of different aspects to American culture to change. But these are your teachers. These are your preachers. Listen to some more.
Ain't nobody gonna say nothing about him lying about the airplane that ain't even for the U.S. government, but is for his own family method. I declare unto you today, I'm a free black man, and before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Somebody gotta say something. Gotta say something. For the last 18 weeks, we've been boycotting Target. It said there's no way in the world we going into Target where black people were spending $12 million a day. We said to Target, you got to do 4 things in order for us to walk into that store. Is that you got to invest $250 million in the black banks. Number 2, you got to honor what you said to George Floyd's family and invest $2 billion.
Hey, you hear that? He trying to extort Target. He said they got to invest billions of dollars into the black banks. Why? Why, Jamal? Why would Target want to do that? They have their own banks already, I would assume. But listen to him preach some more.
billion in the black business. Number 3, you got 27 of these stores on white campuses, but not one at an HBCU. You are the partner with 6 HBCUs with their business programs so that young people will be able to scale their business and do a national franchise. We said to you that you got to reimagine what DEI is, and absolutely 16 weeks later, you didn't deliver to us. Even after we made your stock drop, even after the CEO salary was cut by 42%, even after you lost $12 billion in valuation, but you thought you was going to go around me and go to the National Baptist Convention and sell out for $300,000. Are you crazy to think that we gonna sell out?
Now he's saying the National Baptist sold out. The nerve of this hypocrite. The nerve of this Democratic shield. Think about what Jamal Bryant is saying. He is the #1 Democrat operative, him and Roland Martin. Look at some.
Some say you must not know who we are. Our Father is rich in houses and land. In 1961, the National Baptist Convention was meeting, and they did not want to support a young preacher from Georgia named Martin Luther King. They said, you speaking too loud about civil rights. We don't want you to do all of that. Just preach and sit down. Don't march. Don't make a stand. Don't challenge the government. And as a consequence, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Gardner Taylor walked out of that church and started the Progressive Baptist Convention, where we come in full circle. And I need you to know it wasn't just the National Baptist of America. It was also the National Baptist of USA. It was also the Missionary Baptist. It was also the Church of God in Christ. And the $300,000 was not per institution. They gave them Negroes $75,000 for them to just sit down and roll over. Not me, Jack. I called the president of the National Baptist Convention. I said, Rev, we can't go out like that. We are selling ourselves short. He said, Jamal, give me a couple of days. Let me get the board together. I said, bro, you can get your board together, but Sunday morning.
As you can see, it's about the money with these preachers. Now Jamal Bryant, he's going to tell the National Baptists they better change their direction and holler at him. They didn't get enough money as far as he's concerned.
I'm going to the mic and I got to say something, and you got to give me something to work with. He said, Pastor Bryant, give me a couple of days and I will do it. I said, you got 1 week to send me in writing that the Baptist Convention stands with the boycott, stands with the oppressed, stands with the marginalized, stands with the nameless and faceless people who are on the front line. $75,000 Baptist Convention, I'll write you a check. You can't sell yourself out for $75,000. Something has got to.
Jamal don't think they got enough money. But these are the people that you listen to to sway public opinion. He has an audience full of black people. They supposed to be there on church, here and there, going off on the Church of God in Christ and the Baptists, all about some money. But I guarantee you, he passes that collection plate as soon as he get finished.
Right. Over the last couple of weeks, Target been playing in my face. been hiring internet influencers to go online, rappers and artists and athletes to play and to broadcast outside of Target and in Target, thinking we ain't gonna say nothing. But you ain't got to talk directly to me. All you got to do is watch the rerun of The Color Purple. Until you do right by me, nothing you do is gonna work. We will break Target, we will break Dollar General, and we will break any company that doesn't honor our dignity while they trying to take our dollar. The devil is a lie. There must be a God somewhere. Don't you let them delude you into believing that Christianity is a white man's slave religion. Our God been with us from the beginning. On his way to Calvary, it was a black man who took the cross off of his shoulders and took it up the hill. Y'all forgot when Jesus was born, they hid in Egypt. And if they hid in Egypt, he couldn't have had blue eyes and blonde hair. But the Bible said he had hair like lamb's wool and skin like bronze. Look at your neighbor and tell him you look like God. Something is wrong today. Something is wrong today for those who try to hide Jesus just in classism, who tried to hide Jesus in elitism, and something has got to break. You mean ain't none of them?
Enough of this guy. Now you got to hear hear Roland. I want y'all to listen to Roland.
I realized that I was sexualized. I think 5 years
He got the nerve to call somebody a sellout. And he's the number one sellout, and actually got caught accepting money from the Harris campaign just a few months ago. Him and Al Sharpton and the rest. Now look what he has to say.
And I'll make the last point is very simple. I have no problem taking anybody out who is trying to block progress. I don't care if you got the same skin as me. I don't care if you are in the same fraternity. I don't care. If you are not about the business of changing communities, then we've got a fundamental problem. See, right now, I have my producer trying to get the National Baptist Convention on the phone. As a matter of fact, if you are a
Oh, they definitely after the National Baptist. Jamal demanding letters and explanations. Roland trying to get him on the phone. Let's see why.
You're in the room and your church is a part of the National Baptist Convention USA, stand up. Just if okay, but that one got one. All right, if you are a member of a church and your church is a part of the National Baptist Convention USA, stand up. All right, y'all got some homework, because I need y'all to hit your national president and say, how in the hell can the National Baptist Convention USA have the audacity and the
Who do this Negro think he is? He crazy. Listen to his demands. Is this your leader? Y'all got to tell me, is Roland Martin your leader?
Mitigated gall to release a press release today announcing a partnership they are doing with Target while black folks is in the middle of boycotting Target. I know for a fact they've received $300,000 from Target, and so what you have literally is the National Baptist Convention USA selling out black America with Target. Oh, I can read the press release because y'all got.
Roland Martin got a lot of nerve. He made his career off selling out black people. And now he got a new hustle. Listen to some more.
Understand, I ain't got no problem calling anybody out. I use names. I tag your ass on social media. I want you to see what I wrote. And it says it right here. The National Baptist Convention USA is committed to ensuring that corporations that do business in our communities give back to help rebuild and stabilize neighborhoods. The partnership with Target is based on our shared commitment to community empowerment through small business and entrepreneur development, investments in education and student support, and workforce and skill development that unlocks growth across our communities. It is a whole bunch of other stuff, blah, 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 blah. Signed, Dr. Boyce Kimber, President, National Baptist Convention, USA. So let me go ahead and for about 5 minutes, go ahead and unpack this here because let me just be real frank. Look, God already knows. Folks, watch my show. It's called Roland Martin Unfiltered, and I got seasoned saints all around the country say, Roland, hey, I love your show, but can you not cuss? And I try not to cuss. I try. The reason I cuss because it keeps blood pressure low, so I'm good. So that's why my blood pressure is 110/65, because I ain't stressing out over nothing. But let me be as frank as I possibly can. This press release is some bullshit. Because this is clear. This is what happens when you have preachers who know nothing about economic development negotiate deals. When you know here, y'all, this $300,000 that they've received.
So y'all preachers are negotiating deals? Say it ain't so, Roland. Say the preachers not negotiating deals.
The National Baptist Convention says in their own press release they represent 31,000 churches. And
this is Buick now. Buick.
7.5 million members. And so if you just do some basic math of $300,000 divided by 31,000, that comes out to $9.67 per church. Now, I just want y'all to explain to me, what in the hell can you do for workforce development, entrepreneurship, and education and scholarships for $9.67? They didn't even get $10. They got $9.67 from Target. And so what they don't even understand, this is the problem that I have. So you sit here and do this, yet Target's market cap is more than $10 billion. You got 300,000. I mean, here's the deal. If you're going to sell black people out, I mean, can you not be the least expensive Negro in the room?
Wow. Did this Negro just say, if you're going to sell black people out, don't be the least expensive Negro in the room?
See, this is what I'm talking about here. Because, see, the thing is, Target committed $2 billion to spend annually with black-owned business and chose to go against their own decision, pulling back on black-owned products, but they want black folks in their stores buying but not supporting. Now, some of y'all might be saying, well, man, I mean, I hear all that, but that's sort of radical. Fine. If you think that's radical, go back and read King's speech, April 3rd, 1968. Because, see, part of the problem, too many of us have only listened to the mountaintop.
I told you. They all use Martin Luther King when they want to pull on the heartstrings of black people and their constituents. But y'all not tired of this hustle. Y'all not tired of this game. They just get in your face and tell you it's all about money. You know, and then they done mix religion with politics to such a degree now that they're one and the same. Your religious views is your political views.
Of the speech at the bottom, which is the last 2 minutes of the speech, now realizing it's 43-minute and 16-second speech. In that speech, he said that we need to have economic withdrawal. We don't do business with companies that don't do business with us. He said we don't have to throw a Molotov cocktail. We don't have to burn anything down. He said we can simply withdraw our money. And the reality is this: whether we're talking St. Louis proper, St. Louis County, and Missouri, this state in this city, in this county, in the region cannot survive without black dollars. And I'm telling you right now, if there are businesses in this county that won't do business with us, then we should have the courage to tell black folks we're not shopping there, we're not going there, and we're going to penalize them for their actions. And I can guarantee you they're going to pay attention. And so do understand, I'm about to give the National Baptist Convention USA holy hell for this decision selling black folks out, because I got to remind you, this is the same National Baptist Convention USA that did not support the civil rights movement, and the leader of the National Baptist Convention USA is the one who ran Dr. King and Gardner Taylor out. They created the Progressive National Baptist Convention. And
if you've been watching up to this far, don't you? It seems like him and Jamal Bryant rehearsed this together. They saying the same things about King. Listen to his story.
That's how that whole thing started. And that preacher was so shameful and despicable. When King was assassinated and they were renaming the street that's now MLK Drive in Chicago, his sorry ass moved his church address to the side street because he did not want his church address on MLK Drive. So understand, there are some black haters who are not standing with us. And I'm telling you right now, what they need to understand, they may have 31,000 churches claiming 7.5 members, but I'm going to sit here and light them up every single day, show they pictures on the air every single day, because you are not going to cut deals with Target to bail them out when we are in the middle of a nationwide boycott to force them to change. And so if they think they're going to do it,
Y'all boycotting? It's a nationwide boycott? I rolled past Target the other day. It didn't look like it. Nobody was boycotting. At least not black people. That's all I seen go in.
we about to drop some pressure on them, and that's going to be a warning to any other black organization. If you decide to go behind our backs and cut some deals, we're going to call you out, put you on blast, and challenge you. And I'm telling you right now, to this preacher here, he might want to come on my show and explain, because I will show up in his church on Sunday morning and sit on the front row and look him dead in his eye, because I have no time in 2025 for black folks selling us out for crumbs and trying to pretend it's a meal. If you want to celebrate Juneteenth, you better have...
Can y'all believe this hypocrite? This sellout Roland Martin is calling somebody a sellout?
The courage of our ancestors who use all of their wherewithal and power to force change in this society. They didn't back down. They didn't run from a fight. And they challenged folks like them who were not about doing what's right. And so I'm going to leave you with this. It's time for St. Louis proper, St. Louis County and Missouri, black folks, our white allies in this fight, Latino allies, to understand that if we are going to truly be about our ancestors, then we have got to have the courage and the tenacity and the willingness to challenge power at every single juncture. And if they say, well, that's just too much, y'all too loud, get louder. If they simply say, you're making too much noise, make some more noise. If they say, well, I don't like your tone, guess what? Keep the same tone and let them know point blank that we gonna battle, we gonna fight, we gonna swing, we ain't backing down. And in the words of my frat brother Burton Woodson Tandy, we gonna fight until hell freezes over. Then we gonna fight on the ice.
Wow. So Roland and Jamal Bryant are willing to fight the Church of God in Christ, the National Baptists, all over some money from Target. Tell me, what does that have to do with helping black people in the community? You're not tired of these theatrics. Are these your leaders? Seriously? We got to wake up. This is played out. You know, Jamal Bryant, apostate preacher, had behind the word to mislead you people. Say it ain't so. Well, this is Detroit's HPTV, signing to you out of Detroit. As always, salute to all the patriots, and keep your head on a swivel. Peace, like, share, and subscribe.